Welcome to RxMuscle's Road to the Arnold Classic 2017, brought to you by Quest Nutrition. Visit questnutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today's guest is IFBB Pro Luke Sandoe, who's making his pro debut at this year's Arnold Classic. Welcome.
Hey Dave, thanks for having me. Appreciate you having me on. I was always a fan of your content.
Well, we like to get people internationally on because, it makes our show seem more important. But the truth is that you won the British Championships last year. We had you on the show probably, a couple months ago. And now you're back to make your pro debut this year. And you picked one of the biggest contests of the entire year to make your face seen for the first time. Why was it the Arnold Classic you wanted to go to?
Well, it wasn't really a choice. After I won the British, it was actually Ed Connors got in contact with me through Instagram, and he said I had a lot of potential, and he was very encouraging. And he just said, "Look, would you do the Arnold Classic?" And I was like, "Do you think I could do it? Do you think I'm ready?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think you are." So he just messaged Bob Lorimer and Jim Lorimer on my behalf. He CC'd me into the email, and they got back to me and said, "Look, if Luke wants to do it, we can put him on our list, and hopefully he'll get the invite." And then I was like, "Oh, wow, this could be something." So fast forward, I think it was about 4 weeks later, I got the official invite, and I'd already been dieting that whole 4 weeks just in case. And I guess I just have balls of steel because it's a bit of a silly thing. From some people's point of view, to jump into it like right at the deep end, but that's how I've always wanted to do things. And the Arnold Classic being such a prestigious show, where better place to start really. And if the opportunity's there, I'm going to take it.
Well, Ed Connors has a pretty damn good eye. He's picked a lot of great champions from the amateurs and helped them and followed them all the way through to their pro careers. So. If he suggested you, I'm sure the Lorimers knew that you were serious about doing this. Cody Montgomery last year threw his hat into the ring at his pro debut also. Here's a kid who just, was 20 years old. So you got a little bit more muscle maturity on him. How do you, when you look at the lineup, and I know what you're going to say, I'm only worried about myself, but when you look at the lineup, how do you think you stack up next to some of these other guys up there?
I mean, that's something I have been thinking about a lot. I think the lineup is very diverse this year. I mean, you've got a lot of the taller guys, and there's a lot of really thick, densely muscled guys. But I'm not sure, because I'm not very tall. I'm about 5'7", 5'8". So I'm not sure how I'm going to stack up against the taller guys. But I think I could stand my ground quite well against, the sort of more my height, like Fuad, Max Charles, those sort of guys. I think I'll stack up better with those. But I think in terms of muscularity, I don't think I'll have a problem standing next to these guys. It just depends on. I mean, I've never stood with anyone at all at anywhere near this level, so I'm not really too sure. I mean, it could go either way. I could look really good and I could hold my own very well. I'm just going to fall flat on my face. I really don't know until we get there. But I think if I didn't have somebody like Ed Connors telling me that I could do well, I probably wouldn't have the confidence to do it. But as I've got had a lot of positive backing, so I believe I can do well against these guys. And if I've had the invite, then somebody must think I'm good enough.
A lot of mistakes that guys make on their pro debut, especially guys that feel like they're not as big as the other guys, is they come in too big and they give up their strength, which is conditioning. What's the goal in terms of weight-wise and conditioning-wise for Luke Sandoe come the Arnold Classic?
the goal is to step on the scales and for the scales to just say shredded on them. I don't really care what I weigh. I just want to be in shape. And I want to retain my strengths, which I believe I've got. I'm quite well balanced. I don't have any major weak points to me. And I want to maintain a lot of that roundness, the fullness, but I need to come in condition. And condition is the thing that I've been gunning for this whole prep. I think I learned from a lot of the mistakes I made for the finals, which despite winning, I still think I could have been a lot better. And I think I will display that at the Arnold. So condition that's the goal. That's what it comes down to for me. That's what wins shows. That's what gets attention, and that's the thing that we have in our control. Is condition, presentation. They're the two things that I can control. I can't control what my structure. I can't control what the other guys are looking like. All I can control is how much work I put into this.
What does Luke Sandoe have to do to get in the best shape of his life? In other words, what kind of metabolism do you have? What do you need to be? What whip needs to be cracked on you to get you into the best shape of your life?
Well, in the past, I've always, always overemphasized the cardio to take the body fat off, and I've eaten a little bit more. And this time, I've actually flipped that on its head. My calories are pretty damn low. I mean, in terms of macronutrients at the moment, I think my protein's around 350, which is about normal. I think my carbs during the week are anywhere from 30 to 90 grams and maybe 30 to 40 grams of fat. So they're pretty low. 3 30-minute sessions of cardio a day. So again, that's not excessively high or low. It's pretty average. But I don't have the most gifted metabolism, but what I have noticed, it does stall quite quickly. And I'm lucky enough to work with Justin Harris, and I've worked with him for the last 12 months, actually. And something that's worked very well for me is I can't go flat for too long. And in the past, when I'm flat, I don't look flat because I'm quite round. I just look a little bit soft. So when the previous coaches I've worked with, they'll say, you're not flat, you're just soft. We need to push the cardio. We need to pull the food. Whereas Justin has learned now that that's not always the case with me. It's just I just need filling up. Things are slowing down. Just little things like I won't be very hungry. I will get no pumps in the gym. I'll start looking smooth. And he'll give me one really, really high carb day once a week. And it sort of like reignites everything for the following week. And so pretty much every Saturday I've had a very high carb day, and it's worked really, really well. So I just kill myself during the week, fill back out, reset, kill myself the following week. And it's done pretty well so far.
Well, yeah, a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of suffering that goes into getting in shape. And I mean, the fact that you're under 100 grams of carbs every day and your fats are low too, means you're suffering, and I think that that's important. A lot of people, once again, I can't tell you how many people I've interviewed for their first, pro debut have made that mistake of thinking they need to eat more, be fuller, be bigger, try to outsize guys on stage, and it always backfires on guys when they do that.
I mean, for me, it's not. I mean, I know I'm going to be flat 99% of the time, but the problem I've had in the past, if I'm flat for too long and I try to fill back out, nothing really happens. So. I think it goes back to a lot of coaches. I mean, obviously you're very close with Chris Aceto, and he has his whole muffin things. I know a lot of, I've got a close friend, Sasan Harati, who works with Chris, and I know that Chris doesn't like Sasan being flat for too long, and I think that's something to be said. Yes, you need to suffer. Yes, you need to be low calorie, low carb. I think for someone like myself, the genetics I have, if I go flat for too long, I just lose that fullness, and it just doesn't come back. My metabolism slows down quite a bit. So I think the filling back out, like I said, resetting my body almost once a week is done a very good job for me. So I think, just keep. It's been a constant through the prep. It's not like I randomly have a high day. It's been a very constant thing. Every week's been the same. And then so the high days they've never come down. They've actually only ever gone up or stayed the same. But my calories in the week have come down, and my cardio has slightly increased. So, I've suffered and I feel like shit, but luckily I've just bought myself a new espresso machine. So that's been pulling me through quite nicely the last couple of weeks.
Let me ask you this question, Luke. Since we're talking about diet and we're talking about, your methods for getting in shape, are you a big supplement guy? Do you use a lot of nutritional supplements in addition to your diet?
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite big on I really do find the benefits of the intra-workout nutrition. Obviously, my intra-workout nutrition at the moment, I don't have any carbs intra-workout at all unless it's the high day. But I definitely I definitely find, because I've just actually started with Granite Supplements, which is John Meadows' new brand, and I've been trialing their supplements for the last couple of weeks now, and they have made a very big difference in terms of how I feel and how I'm recovering. But in terms of, I just think it's very basic with nutritional supplements. My health supplements far way out my sports supplements, say. So I keep it very basic. I don't use any whey protein now. It's just essential aminos, creatine, citrulline malate, glutamine. I still believe quite in glutamine, electrolytes, and that's normally just around my training. And then I have my pre-training. I have the pre-workout, the Arc Reactor from Granite Supplements, which it's really, really good. I mean, I'm not a very big stim guy, apart from coffee. So that's a nice addition to keep me sort of that mentally fresh. Because at the moment it is mind over matter, really. So anything that I can use to sort of drown out that, you get that horrible brain fog where you just can't think properly and you're just constantly like, ugh. Yeah. So anything to pull me out of that is I'll use it, basically.
What about like any vitamins and essential nutrients and stuff like that you take?
Oh, yeah, that's what. Going back to the health supplements, I mean that list is as long as my arm. I mean, there's a lot of things.
Share it with us because a lot of people don't know. I want to know what you're taking.
Yeah.
Tell us what you're taking, because a lot of people out there might want to know like what you find to be important.
Okay, just my essentials year round would be an essential fats, something like I actually either like the Life Extension fish oils or the Udo's oil. I think it's great. Or I use curcumin year round, citrus bergamot, vitamin D, vitamin K2. I use astragalus root. Hawthorn berry. I've just lost. I mean, there's just so many.
So you take a lot of vitamins then during the day?
Yeah, I take a lot because health's important to me. I'm young. Yeah. I have a family, so keeping healthy is and trying to, because what we do isn't necessarily healthy, but it doesn't have to be as unhealthy as people would assume. So I like to make sure I can do everything in my power to limit sort of any repercussions in the future.
Do you do any like detoxes or cleanses after like you're done with a contest or anything like that?
I haven't, no, but I mean, this is something I certainly want to look at this year. I mean, because I know this year is going to be extremely hard on my body because I plan on pretty much competing most of the year, try and get out there as much as possible. So afterwards, I will speak to a few more intelligent people than myself to help me out, something like that, because I think that would be definitely something that could work in my favor long term. So yeah, it'd be definitely something I'll look at.
You'll email me. I'll send you my 3-week detox. You'll love it.
Oh yeah, perfect, brilliant. That'd be great. Thank you.
You'll love it. Let's talk about presentation on stage, because as we know, presentation's important. At the Arnold Classic, they actually judge the posing round. What have you prepared for your routine, knowing the fact that 30% of your score will come from that?
Well, my routine, I've been practicing for a good few weeks now. I do about half an hour, 40 minutes of posing every day, just the mandatories. Just because practice makes perfect, really. In terms of the posing routine, I have about 3 songs laid out that I can't quite decide on, and I need to decide by Friday because I want our music in by Friday. And it sort of depends on my mood. The routine is pretty much the same. It just depends on how I feel with the music. So I haven't quite decided. I want to use something. I want to use some rock, and I want to use something that's a British rock band as well. So something not heavy, but something with some good punch to it, but something that's got a nice crescendo ending, something that's going to build up and not be super boring. And I probably mix 2 songs together, actually, rather than just 3 minutes of the same song. So, but presentation, the Arnold is more important at the Arnold than it is at any other show. So it's something I've definitely, I've been watching as many YouTube videos as possible, posing a lot of the greats. But I think the sort of style I will go for is Dorian, and regardless of whether he's British or not, I just think the way he poses was just brilliant. It was just very to the point. He transitioned very well, and he was very powerful. And I think personally, my physique would benefit from that more so than trying to be Lena Brada. So,
do you like the fact that they're judging the routine round at the Arnold, or do you think it's a bad idea?
I'm a bit undecided because it's like, it's so based on opinion. How do you? I mean, it's very easy to mark mandatory poses because we all do them. But when it comes to a posing routine, I mean, somebody like Kai Green could come on and do basically a dance. And then somebody like Cedric could come on and do something that's far less entertaining to people that don't know what they're looking at. But to us bodybuilders, we're like, it's just pure art. So how do you judge that? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense on how. I mean, what are they looking for? They don't even tell us. Do they judge on how much they enjoyed it, or do they judge it on how well the poses are executed, or do they judge it on how original it is? Do they judge it on how good you can do a fucking worm on the stage? You know, what do they judge it on? I don't know. So all I can do is pose that I believe that will show my physique off the best to a song that I like, basically.
Well, it sounds like you got all your ducks in order. You're conditioned. You're going to be conditioned for this show. You're suffering. You got your routine all worked out. And you're going to be making your pro debut, so it's got to be super exciting for you to be up on a stage with some Olympia competitors, and obviously Arnold Schwarzenegger will be up there as well.
It's honestly, it is a dream come true for me. I didn't ever expect to ever make it to the Arnold Classic yet, let alone my first ever show. So this is probably why it may not look like I'm suffering. Inside I'm dying, but on the outside I'm just so happy and excited. You know, this whole process has been so different for me because I'm doing something I just cannot wait to do. It's going to be such an experience. So for me to suffer puts a bit of a negative spin on it. So I just can't wait. Like I said, it's a dream for me. So I'm very happy, very fortunate.
Well, Luke, thanks for joining us here today, and best of luck. We'll see you in about a week and a half in Columbus, Ohio. Have a safe flight, and we hope you crack that top 6 your first time out.
That would be incredible. Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, and that's going to take us to the end of another episode of our 2017 Road to the Arnold Classic, brought to you by Quest Nutrition. Visit questnutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo, and we'll see you soon.